The Batman in 2025. Let's talk about it.
Hey, it's my good friend, the total stranger. I'm Ambush Bug.
Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. Today we will take a look at the Batman. So let's get this party started. I already made a video about the Batman Emblem. I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. But just a reminder that some emblems like the Batman vs Superman Batman Emblem or the 6th Dimension Batman Emblem, those emblems were available for a limited time in the game. So sadly, they're not available right now. And there's also the classic Batman Emblem. This emblem has been available a few times for a limited time in the game. Sadly, we don't know if or when it will be available again. We got it earlier this year for Batman Day. Will it come back next year for Batman Day? We don't know. So nowadays we can make a pretty good version of Batman in this universe online. But I can already hear you ask, if you want to play as the Batman, why not just play the Arkham games? The Arkham games have maybe 20 hours of gameplay. And there's 4 games out, so we're talking roughly about 80 hours of gameplay. If you create Batman in this universe online, you can play the Batman for hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours, if you want to. Before we get started, there is a sort of Batman emblem we can get in the game right now, the Long Halloween emblem. You can change the colors of the emblem if you want to. You can get the emblem right now from the Witching Hour event. Sadly, there's only 2 days left for the event, so you will pretty much have to use the buyout option to be able to get the emblem. So there is a regular version of the emblem, and there is an enhanced version of the emblem. Sadly, for the enhanced version, you will have to get it from the Halloween seasonal vendor. And again, sadly, there's only 2 days left to do the event, and the emblem will cost you 35 spooky bits. So if you do play the Halloween seasonal for the remaining 2 days, you might be able to purchase the emblem, but after that, the emblem will be gone until next year. Another style we can recreate is the Silent Batman. Here you can see the style is called Silent Agenda. Although it is only the headpiece, the gloves, and the pants, so this allows us to create the evil Batman Hush character. Sadly, in order to be able to get the headpiece, the gloves, and the pants, you have to get those from the Halloween seasonal vendor. So here you can see the Silent Agenda face wrap for 50 spooky bits, the same for the gloves, and the same for the pants. So you can get the Swarming Bat Aura from the Halloween seasonal vendor. So you can get the Swarming Bat Aura for 50 spooky bits. But you can get it also in certain bundles, like the Ultimate Batman bundle. So you can see the Swarming Bat Aura. And it is also included in the Batman Family Pack. So you can see the Swarming Bat Aura in the description. You can scroll through the menu if you want to be able to see the other styles included in the pack. Way back when, the only Batsuit we had in the game was the Dark Spectre Batsuit. You can purchase it from our friend Batgirl in the Watchtower. You will need to be level 30 to purchase the Batsuit, and you will need source marks. You can also purchase it from our friend Red Tornado in the House of Legends. And here you can see it will cost you 10 source marks for each pieces of the style. Now there's also a new version of the style that's been added to the game at some point. So you also have the Dark Spectre 2018 Batsuit. Nowadays, you can get it on the marketplace. It'll cost you 450 marketplace cash. Although that is if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, it'll cost you 500 marketplace cash. For a long time, the Dark Spectre Batsuit was pretty much the one suit we had in the game to recreate our friend the Batman. At some point, they've added the Daring Vigilante style in the game. Technically, it is a Batgirl style, but it works well enough to recreate our friend the Batman. The style itself doesn't have an emblem, but you can use an emblem with the style if you want to. Nowadays, you can get the style from our friend Dr. Fate in the House of Legends. So if you go to the Styles tab, you will have sadly to scroll quite a bit to get to the style, but here you can see the style for 100 Fate tokens for each piece of the style. For some reason, the style itself is called the Daring Vigilante style, but for some reason, the cape is called the Batgirl's cape. Why? I have no idea. Obviously, you get Fate tokens from the daily rewards. You could also try your luck on a broker. Way back when, the style used to come from what used to be Promethean lock boxes. Sadly, those boxes have not been in the game for quite some time. But with a bit of luck, you might be able to get some of it from the broker. Sadly, you can see the price, a little bit expensive. And again, for the cape itself, you have to search for Batgirl's cape, but it is the Daring Vigilante style. So for a long time it was a bit, let's say, challenging to recreate our friend the Batman in this series online. But eventually the devs decided to give us what people have been asking for. They gave us an official Batman cowl in the game. You can get it from the marketplace for roughly $2. There is a cowl version, so you can see the Dark Knight's cowl, but there's also a helm version. If somehow you don't want to have the full cowl, you can get it as just a helm if you want to. There is also the Bat cowl. For this one, there's not a helm version, you only have the cowl. For the Bat cowl, you have to get it from the marketplace from the Ultimate Batman bundle. The bundle also includes the Swarming Bat Aura, so the pack does contain the Beyond the Enhanced style, the Modified Enhanced Jacket style, the Bat cowl style, the Swarming Bat Aura, the Bat Drone Tier 1, the Bat Signal Uplink device, and the Manual Lair. We'll take a look at all those items a little bit later. For the manor, you've seen bits and pieces of the manor already, but I'll make a full tour of the manor towards the end of the video. Now obviously, if you do not want to purchase a Batman cowl from the marketplace, you will get other cowls in the game. We will take a look at other Batman styles, so you will see other versions of the cowl. There's also the Batman inspired mask, also known as the Balkan mask. If you ever saw videos by the YouTuber Balkan way back when, that is pretty much what he was using at the time. Nowadays, you can get the mask from our friend Dr. Fate in the House of Legends. So you will need Destiny tokens to be able to purchase the mask. The same as Fate tokens, you do get Destiny tokens from the Dr. Fate's daily rewards. Another Batman cowl you can get from our friend Dr. Fate is the Sandstorm or Vengeance cowl. And it does allow you to create a pretty cool looking Desert Batman in this universe online. And yes, the Desert Batman technically comes from the BVS movie, but they have added a version of the Desert Batman in the comics, so that is why we were able to get the cowl in this universe online. Sadly, this universe online only has the rights to use items from the comics. They cannot use anything from the movies, from animated series, from TV shows, and stuff like that. When they do add something to the comics, then we can have it in this universe online. An example of that would be the Batman Beyond style. We can have the Batman Beyond style in the game because at some point they have added a version of Batman Beyond in the DC Comics. One of the Batman styles we got in the game is the Future Batman style. It is the style you see in the cinematic at the start of the game, and eventually they gave it to us as an actual style that we could use for our characters. There is also an enhanced version of the style, but if you put some of the style black like I did, it doesn't really show that there is an enhanced version. You can see the colors are separated a little bit different. Like you can see, if you look at the chest piece on the armory and the chest piece on my character, you can see that the colors are separated a little bit different. But you will have to use some colors other than black if you want to be able to see the enhanced version of the style. It is one of the first styles we got from the time capsules, and at this point, you have to get it from our friend Booster Gold. So obviously, you will need quarks to be able to purchase the gear. So here you can see the enhanced version of the gear and the regular version of the gear. Again, if you put it black and gray the way I did, you might as well get the regular version because with the enhanced version, you're not going to get the shiny bits if you put it mostly black. And of course, you could try to get lucky and hope to get it from the broker. Although it seems to have only the regular version of the style, we don't seem to have the enhanced version. And next we have the Flashpoint Batman style. Although I am cheating a little bit, I'm using another chest piece. And there we go, here we have the actual style with the chest piece and the shoulders. Although the emblem is a little bit small, so that is why I kinda like to use the Stalwart Defender chest instead. And for the shoulders, I kinda like to use the Vengeance shoulders. But here you can see the actual style without the emblem. I gave the enhanced version some bright colors so that you could see that it is enhanced. Otherwise, again, if you put it black and gray, you may as well just use the regular version. And again, it does support an emblem, but the emblem is pretty small. And once more, you can get the style from our friend Booster Gold. While we're here, we may as well also take a look at the emblem. So you can get the Flashpoint Batman emblem from the Flashpoint Time Capsule tab, or you could decide to purchase the enhanced version of the emblem. As for the style itself, it is called the Knight of Vengeance style. So here you can see the regular version of the style and the enhanced version of the style. And once more, you could try to use the broker if you want to. So here you can see the enhanced style and the regular style. And next we have the Bat Metal style. So here you can see the regular version of the style. And next we have the enhanced version of the style. I gave it a bit of color so that it could be a bit different than the regular version. Otherwise, if you put it mostly black like I did, you end up with pretty much the same thing as the regular version. For the regular version, you have to go to Death Metal, Washington, DC, and you have to buy it from your friend Lobo. So here you can see the Bat Metal gear. Sadly, this is only the regular version of the gear. For the enhanced version, sadly, we got it way back when from the Dr. Fate's Daily Reward, and we don't know if or when we will be able to get it again. And of course, it is the style you need for your evil Black Lantern Batman. Although I did tweak it a bit, I wanted to be able to have the Black Lantern emblem with my evil Black Lantern Batman. For your Black Lantern Batman, I would suggest using Celestial to have some visual effects with some nice big evil skull if you want to. It is the best option I saw so far to be able to mimic having Black Lantern powers. And if you're wondering about the weapon, I'm using the Necron sight. And recently we got the Absolute Batman style, which is obviously the Absolute Batman. Personally, I kind of like to use it to recreate Batman 3000, although it is a mishmash of a few different styles. But it does create a pretty good version of Batman 3000. And there are some people who like to use it to recreate the Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. So obviously, we have a regular version of the style, and we have an enhanced version of the style. I gave it some color so that we could see the shiny bits of the enhanced version. So obviously, again, if you put it black and gray, don't bother with the enhanced version. The style comes from the Absolute Dark Knight time capsule, but at this point, you pretty much have to get it from the broker. So either you have to get the gear from the broker, or you have to get the time capsules themselves. I would strongly suggest just buy the gear from the broker. So here you can see the prices for the Absolute Dark Knight. And here you have the enhanced Absolute Dark Knight. And I have to give my jewel broker warning. Prices on the broker changes all the time. These are the prices on the broker right now. Tomorrow, next week, next month, and later tonight, the prices could be different. Obviously, you could decide to create a scuba gear version of Batman. So it would give you a version of Batman for when you go swim in Atlantis. You could also create a version of Batman from Gotham by Gaslight. Although for that version, we will have to go back to the Halloween vendor. For the belt, I'm using the Plague Doctor belt. And for the shoulders, I'm using the Victorian Detective cowl. Yeah, they call it a cowl, but it's actually a shoulder piece. So we have the final Batsuit armor. So it is somewhat Batman themed, but as you can see, it is a pretty bulky suit of armor. And here we have the enhanced version, so I did give it a bit of color so that we could see some of the shiny bits. Probably better like this to see it properly. Sadly, it is another style that comes from a time capsule, and at this point you may as well just buy the style from the broker. So here you can see the enhanced Batsuit, so you can see some of the prices. The suit is not that expensive. I guess it is not that popular, so the demand seems to be pretty low for this style. And the style comes from the Batman Eternal time capsule. I guess it's probably not that popular because if I was to take a guess, I would say that it's probably not popular because what people wanted was a classic Batman costume, and this is what they got. So people were a bit, let's say, disappointed at the time. Also, we do have in the game an official Batman chroma material, so you can see the Detective Vinyl Neon Chroma. If you try to use a chest piece like the Stalwart Defender, sadly it doesn't really work with that. Like the chroma material has 3 different color channels. If you put a chroma material on the Stalwart Defender chest, it does give you a weird result. Ideally, we would need a chest piece that has only one color. Sadly, the closest we have is the Astro Slimline. And for the back piece, I am using the Batwoman back piece. Usually you can get it from the broker. Sadly, it's not on the broker today. Although, if you are mentored by Batman, if you go to Gotham, to the Temple of Crime, so here you can see the portal to the Temple of Crime in Gotham City, that is where you can get the Batwoman cape. Sadly, the bad news is that you will have to fight Bruno Mannheim over and over and over again until you can get the cape as a random drop. Sadly, it is an iconic item. Usually iconic items have roughly 5% chances to drop. So if you're lucky, you might get it quickly enough. If you're not so lucky, you may have to run the mission over and over until you can get the cape. So for the headpiece, here I am using the Bat headpiece. But you could decide to use the Bat metal headpiece, although you will have to use it without the material. There's also the Knight of Vengeance. Although depending on the styles you use, the better option might be to just not use the material. That would allow you to use the Stellar Defender chest to have a bigger emblem. And you could try to recreate the Batman from Arkham Knights. Although in order to be able to do that, you would need to use the Haunted Gotham cowl, and sadly it is something we got for Halloween last year, and sadly it was not back this year. So we don't know if or when the headpiece will be back. But an alternative would be the Absolute Dark Knight headpiece. A trick in order to be able to get the neck of the character black would be to use the high collar chest piece. So you can see the high collar, if you put it black, it kind of gave the illusion that your character is using a cowl. For the gloves, I'm using the Dark Defender gloves. To get the Dark Defender gloves, you will have to complete the briefings from Family Reunion and Brothers in Arms. So once you complete the briefing from those two missions, then you will get the gloves by mail. Some other gloves you could decide to use are the Dark Spectre gloves. There's also the Bat Gauntlet, that could be an option, I guess. So for the Bat Gauntlet, nowadays you can get them from our friend Dr. Fate. So if you go to toys, it's the very first one at the top, the Bat Gauntlet, and it is going to cost you 300 Fate tokens. But of course, the better option are the Dark Defenders. And for the emblem, I would use the Enhanced Flashpoint emblem. Yes, it is not the same as the yellow oval Batman emblem, but it is one of the better options. And for the belt, there's a whole bunch of different belts that would do the trick, but the Mercenary's Malice works well enough to recreate our friend Arkham Batman. For the boots and the cape, I'm using the Knight of Vengeance, but for the boots, there's a truckload of other boots that would do the trick. For the cape, there's also the Son of the Bat, that could kind of work, although it does give you a much shorter cape. But for extra fun, you can make the inside of the cape a different color than the outside, if you want to. So this would be an option to recruit our friend the Batman. Although for the Arkham Batman, you don't have to have absolutely huge long ears. So the Bat would probably do the trick well enough. But it would be nice to have a cowl with slightly longer ears, maybe someday. But personally, I kind of prefer this version. Or this version. Another option would be to use the stealth material. Using the stealth material, you can recreate Batman from 1989. It does kind of recreate the rubber look that the costume had way back when. But of course, ideally, you would need the classic Batman emblem. Another trick you can use is using the Batman Day t-shirt with the painted logo. The t-shirt itself is color locked, but if you do apply material like the Detective Vinyl Neon Chroma material, you can change the color of the t-shirt. Although the edge of the t-shirt is a bit bulky for most belt, so I would be tempted to use the Son of the Bat belt to make sure that the t-shirt does not clip through the belt. So this is one way that we can get a pretty big Batman emblem for our Batman character. And to get the t-shirt, you have to come and see your friend Dr. Fate. So if you go to styles, you will see the Batman Day painted logo t-shirt. It will cost you 200 Fate tokens. And one last option would be to create my evil vampire Batman character. So for that, you would need the Red Nightmare Chroma for the headpiece, and the Nightmare Chroma for the rest, and you would need the Demon Bat accessory, and the Cursed Visage skin. I have to admit, I was quite happy with the result. And yes, we will have to go back to the Halloween vendor. And here you can see the Demon Bat accessory for 50 spooky bits. And we do have an official Batman weapon in this Inverse Online. You can get a weapon as random drops when you defeat the Batman in the game. But the better option is probably just to buy it from the broker, so here you can see it for 50,000. Although there is also a one-ended weapon style, so if you do purchase a weapon box on the broker, you will be able to choose either the one-ended style or the dual-wield style. So we do have an official weapon for our friend the Batman in this Inverse Online. Another thing we have is the Bat Drone. So you can summon a little Bat Drone that will follow you in battle for a short while. There is also another version of the Bat Drone that you could get from the Collector's Edition. Sadly, the code for the Collector's Edition no longer works. So don't be a foolish fool. Do not purchase the Collector's Edition. At least, do not purchase it to get the Bat Drone. And it's gone. And when we did take a look at the Ultimate Batman bundle before, we did see that the Bat Drone was included, although here we have the Tier 1 Bat Drone. Here we see the Tier 2 Bat Drone for 50 million. Sadly, we don't see the Tier 3 Bat Drone. You can get the Bat Drone from our friend Sung Tzu here. So here we have the Tier 1 Bat Drone for 100 source marks. We have the Tier 2 Bat Drone for 400 source marks. But we have to complete the normal mode headlines for the Riddle with Crime episode. And here we have the Tier 3 Bat Drone for 700 source marks. And here we have to complete the normal and elite headlines from the Riddle with Crime. So getting the Tier 3 Bat Drone will be a tall order. Something else also you could get is the Dark Robin trinket. Sadly, we don't have a Robin sidekick that we could have for a Batman character. So this is pretty much the less bad option we have right now to get some Robin sidekicks. And the Dark Robins are gone. Sadly for the Dark Robin, you have to get them as random drops playing the Metal Part 2 mission into the Dark Multiverse. And you have to get them as random drops from the evil Barbatos. Sadly, the less bad option is probably to just buy them from the broker. Way back when, I had to purchase them for 500 millions on the broker. But here you can see you can get them for 98 million. Although nowadays we do have the Elite Henchmen, so other than for the look, I don't think many people will be using the Dark Robins these days. And there's also the Bat Signal uplink device. So quite simply, it is an orbital strike that looks like the Bat Signal. We also saw that in the Ultimate Batman bundle, but there is also an alternative to get the Bat Signal. Oh, turns out you can get it from the broker for 1.5 million, but you can also get it from Thanagar. So here we have our vendor friend on Thanagar, and we can get the Bat Signal uplink device for 50 source marks. Although these days most people probably use the Athena uplink device, but if you have a Batman themed character, you might still use the Bat Signal uplink device. You decide. And one more thing from the Ultimate Batman bundle, the Manor Lair. So you can get the Manor Lair from the Ultimate Batman bundle. Although if you get it from the bundle, you get it only for one character. You can also purchase the lair itself. If you do purchase the lair itself, you can redeem it for every single character in your account. So let us take a quick look at the Batman lair. It's a really nice looking lair. I remember when we did get this lair, a lot of people were doing the happy dance. So you can see the entrance here. When you do purchase the lair, there are some base items that come with it. Although I've added a lot more base items. We do have, at this point, we pretty much have an embarrassment of riches for Batman base items in this Inverse Online. Oh, here I only have the one window. I guess I'm gonna have to get some more. Actually, let's start the other way. So we have our mainframe here. Here we have a pretty big room. I tried to kind of divide it into two parts, like to have some sort of a living room here, workspace here. Sadly for the doors, you have to break the doors in order to be able to get through. Here I try to have a little bathtub, a little bedroom, and here we have another door, which sadly you have to break to get through. So here we have some sort of sadly there's a glitch for the door. It doesn't always work. I hope they'll fix it at some point, but didn't happen just yet. So here we have a little kitchen for our Batman friend, a little trophy room. And if we get back here, so we have the corridor that leads back here. Sadly for the cave lair, like base items like the T-Rex are a little big for the cave lair. So this gives us some more room to be able to have a nice big base item like the T-Rex. And there is a secret door over here. So what's behind the secret door? Let's find out. So in the back of the manor lair, you do have the Bat Cave. It's a smaller cave than the cave lair itself. What you could do if you're a crazy buckaroo like me is that you could have a second lair. We'll go see that in just a minute. And here, of course, you can see all my armories. You can see the Batwing over here. You can see the smaller version of the Batwing over there. And there's a whole bunch of other base items you can put at the bottom over here. So again, it does give you room to put some pretty big base items that you may not be able to put in the smaller lair. Like for example, our friend the T-Rex over here. If I put the T-Rex in the cave lair, there's not really a good place to put the T-Rex in the cave lair. And speaking of the cave lair, let's go there right now. So basically what you could do is that you could pretend that this is like the first level of your Bat Cave. And then you go down to the second level of your Bat Cave. And here we have the cave lair. Sadly for the cave lair, you also have to buy it from the marketplace. It's sad, but that's how it is. And you can see also a whole bunch of other base items. You can see a little bat drone over here. You can see some Batman statues. I bought those ages ago on the broker. I'm not sure if we can still get them on the broker. We'll take a quick look. Now we only have the small version of the Batman statue, and you can see it's getting to be a bit expensive. So let us continue. So here we have the Batmobile. And yeah, I purchased a multiple version of the Batman base item bundles. So I have multiple Batmobiles. So if we go up here. So here we can see the spark target in our lair. You can see the Joker card here. Some bat signals. Sadly for the Batman vs Superman base items, those items are no longer available. It's sad, but that's how it is. So some more Bat computers. Again, the small version of the Batwing. And if we go all the way down, so some more Batmobile. Some more computers. The Batmobile once more. So we can have the manor lair and the cave lair. It is allowed. And one more thing we could look at, the Bat Santa headpiece. Sadly, I don't have enough colors to be able to put it red. Oh well. Overall, it's a really nice looking Batman headpiece, but it does have a Santa hat. There is also silly items like the Batman boxers. And there is a bunch of Batman t-shirts that we got as free gifts over the year. So I'm going to show them to you quick. And we also got some Batman hoodie. If somehow you want to be able to have the Batman hoodie and the Batman boxers, you can get those from our friend Dr. Fate. So if we go down in styles, we have some of the Batman t-shirts here. We have the Batman boxers for 100 feet token. And the same for the Batman hoodie. Oh, and there's also the Batwoman t-shirt. I usually use the Batwoman t-shirt for a Batman Beyond type character. But I guess I could show it to you right now. I will make a separate Batman Beyond video at some point. I did not include the Red Death, the Batman Who Laughs, or the Bat Metal Dark Knight Metal characters. I already have videos with those characters. I'll put a link to those videos in the description down below. For Batman Beyond, I will try to make a video about it soon. And one last thing, so you may have noticed there's a little bat drone following me around sometimes. Sadly, sometimes when the camera gets too low or too close, the bat drone goes into stealth mode. But if you pull back your camera just a little bit, you do see your little bat drone following you around. That bat drone does come from the Gotham City starter pack. So you can see the list, the Batwing accessory, so this is what we're talking about. And I guess one more thing we could show is the Gotham City emergency signal. So this here is the Gotham signal. It does give you a 25% experience boost before you reach level 30. After level 30, it's pretty much just a vanity item. Like, it will do a bit of damage to all nearby enemies. So let us use it right now. So it does summon your friend, the Batman, to help you very briefly in battle. I guess this was the first ally before we actually had allies in the game. Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot the bat signal emote. So at some point they gave us a little emote that gives us a small bat signal with our Batman character. Our Batman looks so cool with his little bat signal. So here you can see the name of the emote is the Signal Guardian emote. I'm not too crazy about emotes in general, but I have to admit, I really like this one. So there we go, guys. So this is our Batman 2025 video. Dang, there was a lot of Batman stuff. So at this point, we pretty much have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to recreating our friend the Batman in DC Universe Online. Not just in terms of styles, but in terms also of the orbital strikes, the accessories, and all that good stuff. Obviously, there might be something I did not cover. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions.